Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Micah Gaudet, and I am your guide to AI and local government. Today, I want to share with you 5 things you can do to effectively implement AI in your local government. These are 5 strategies that are going to be amazing for you. That way, you can look at how to use AI and how to implement it in your local government. Before we get started, if you know what to do, please hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications. I have a really great, wonderful, amazing video that's going to be dropping pretty soon. It's a video of something on ChatGPT that's never been done before, right? Literally nobody that I've ever found. I've scoured the internet for this. I don't see anyone that has ever done this thing in ChatGPT, and I'm going to do that. And I think it'll be really, really cool to see what ChatGPT can do. It's going to be a massive project. It's going to take probably upwards of about 60 hours worth of my time just to put into this. So it's a bear to do. I'm about a quarter of the way through it so far, so I'm plugging away little by little, but I'm excited for this. I'm excited to show you that. So make sure you have the bell, click for notifications, because you're not going to want to miss this exciting video. And the moment you see it, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about, because it's literally that big. And like I said, nobody's ever done this before. So excited to show this to you and have you guys be the first people to join this journey of doing something no one else has done before. We get to do that together. That's awesome. So getting started here, what are some 5 things we can do for implementing AI in our local government? Number 1, I would say the first and most important thing we can do is adopt a servant leadership mindset, right? When it comes to AI, like anything else, is simply change management. And to me, the proven effective way for change management is servant leadership. So having a foundation of servant leadership across the organization, of leaders in position of management, right, versus leaders who are just gung-ho and leaders in your organization, all across the board, regardless of what title you have. If you're a leader in the organization and you're developing leaders in your organization, develop them within the servant leadership framework, because that's the best way to be able to handle change management. And there's one thing we know in local government is, although we joke about how slow the process is, things change all the time. We know that, right? Things are always constantly changing. And so having that leadership mindset can help with change management, and that applies directly within AI. Number 2 will be this: strategize your context to local needs, right? So when you talk about using AI or things like that, we shouldn't have a one-size-fits-all approach, right? We should adapt our framework to our unique strengths. So that means we need to know, what are our strengths? What are the people, resources, time, finance, right? What are all those constraints that we have? That way we know how to customize strategies to local needs, right? And put it this way: if I have a Pulitzer Prize level writer on my staff, I'm not going to have them use ChatGPT to write stuff, right? It doesn't make any sense, because they're already a great writer. So I might have them use ChatGPT for data analysis, or for generating visualizations, or for coming up with ideas or things like that as an idea generator, or, look at the budget or things like that, or looking at budget numbers or things like that. I might have it use that kind of thing. But if I already have a strong writer, I don't need to use ChatGPT for that. But the vice versa is also true too. If I don't have a strong writer on my team, then yeah, let's use ChatGPT for something like that. So customize your strategies to local needs is number 2. Number 3, this is obvious, guys. I think we've beat this horse before, but I think it's important to mention. We want to promote safe and responsible use, right? And I think this is important, right? We talk about safe and responsible use as why it's important, but we always talk about that from the negative aspect of it, right? We always talk about, well, here's an example of someone who didn't do this and now they're in trouble, right? The famous example of the lawyer who had ChatGPT create a case brief for him, and ChatGPT hallucinated, made up a bunch of stuff, right? We always see those kind of negative posts, but I want to be more positive with this. I think we have an opportunity to promote the safe and responsible use of AI. And that's what we're trying to do with like the AI and local government network, which if you're not a member of that, would highly encourage you to do that. It's free of charge to do. But we want to promote the safe and responsible use of AI. And that means highlighting and showcasing these examples of use of AI within local governments, within your organization, that are safe and are responsible those should also see the light of day instead of being buried somewhere and no one knows about it. And so all we find is the negative stuff. And what happens if all you have is negative information? That's going to taint and bias the response of AI, or bias the response towards AI, I should say, to be more cynical and more cautious than maybe it should be. I'm not saying we shouldn't be cautious. We definitely should be cautious, but there's good and bad in AI. And I really think the good outweighs the bad. I think more people are using AI for the right reasons than for the wrong reasons. So before we get number 4 and number 5, I will mention here this whole 5 things is actually taken from my AI implementation guide that was recently launched a couple months ago. And you can get a copy below. I'll put a link below in the description. It's only $4, guys. It's $4, which is basically the price of a cup of coffee these days. So for the price of a cup of coffee, you have a comprehensive guide to AI and local government, how to manage it, how to implement it. I include all kinds of checklists and strategies. It is designed to help you go from not knowing anything about AI and the AI world to having a strategy you can take to implement AI that's fully customizable to your local government. So take advantage of that. Again, link below to get started, and we'll hopefully it's a great use for you guys, and hopefully it's a great use for your local government. Number 4 on this list would be encouraging practical action and execution, right? Having a plan without action is merely a document. How many times have you seen this in local governments? We spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars on a general plan amendment, or general plan amendment's probably a bad example, on some kind of consultant that's going to look at some kind of put together some kind of plan for us, right? Whether it be a recommendation for a park or a facility of some sort. And what happens to that document? It goes and sits on the shelf, never to be seen of again. That's not a plan. That's a document. And I want to make sure that we understand that having a plan means action. A plan necessitates action. Otherwise, it's just a document. So we can take some really great concrete steps towards AI integration. And that includes things like setting up measurable goals, actively tracking our progress, fostering an approach where we overcome the identify implementation of barriers. And part of that, then, if we're going to try to overcome the barriers to implementation, we need to know what those barriers are in the first place. So identifying what those are, identifying the gaps within our implementation. Those are all things that I discuss in great detail and great length in the practical framework for implementing AI in local government. So that's just what we want to do. Encourage the practical implementation, the practical action, and the execution of AI by having those things, having those measurable goals, knowing what we're tracking against, tracking that progress, and making sure too that the progress isn't progress towards becoming proficient in AI for the sake of being proficient in AI, but the progress is, are we meeting our overall organizational mission, where AI is a tool to help us get there. It's not a tool of its own. And part of this too, just a freebie for y'all too for this, we talk a lot about AI helping us meet the mission, right? And we're a lot of us are in alignment there too. We talk about that a lot. I get lots of head nods when I mention this at different conferences. But the one thing people don't talk about either, but it's just as important, is what are the ways in which AI can distract us from the mission? Which means maybe there's some things we should not be doing with AI because it's too distracting to the mission. And that's some things you get to think about too as you implement AI. No one can decide that for you. No one can do that other than yourself. And so this is why we want to create strategies that are adaptable to local governments, and each local government is going to be unique and different. And that's what makes it such a great country. So number 5, and this is what we do here, right? We want to support workforce adaptation and skill building. All that. What does that mean? Train how to use AI. And that's what we do here at this channel, right? That's what we do over at civicinnovation.ai, where we have the first and only masterclass on generative AI specifically for local governments. That's why we have just recently launched AI coaching for local governments, where you can get 10 sessions on AI. I'll teach your team how to use AI in 10 sessions. It comes out to $60 per session, 600 piece, not bad price when it comes to learning how to use AI. We go deep in this. We go way deep into this book and into this platform, into how to use different AI tools. You're going to learn all about that through that. But that's what we do, right? Skill building, skill adaptation, learning how to do this. there's other ways you can do it too, right? If you want to use something else to learn how to use AI, develop something on your own internally, if you have an AI power user, do that, right? I'm not the only game in town. I might not be the right fit for you. That's totally fine. What I want to make sure happens is that you and your team are trained in how to use AI effectively and efficiently. Because when we're able to do that, our whole world gets better because now local governments are focused on the mission. They're focused on using AI in order to meet that mission, which means that our residents have great services and great people to work with them. So, and that's what we're doing, right? That's what we're in local government is to serve our residents. So those are 5 things to learn how to, and just some really quick hits on how to implement AI in your local government context. Thanks again for watching this video. Again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I'm pushing for 1,000 subscribers by the end of October. Hoping we can get that done. It'd be a huge push, and I really appreciate all the love and support you've given me and this channel and the work I've been doing in AI. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Again, hit that bell notification because we have a really exciting video coming up, and I don't want you to miss that. So hit the bell, and until next time, be well.